Hi everybody and welcome to today's webinar. For those of you who don't recognise my voice, I'm Kate and today I'm going to be importing the catalogue setup. So if you've got any questions while I'm going through this or at the end of the session, you can speak on the YouTube chat where Ollie will be available to speak with. Now in the screen in front of me now, I've got the publications and catalogue module. The catalogues are distributed by our data department. So the email address that you'll receive the catalogue from is data@primasoftware.co.uk. You can check through your emails using that email address to see when the latest files have been received for the various different suppliers. If you'd like to request a catalogue from our data department, you can email them on this address. And if you'd also like to change who receives the catalogue files, for example, if the person who's receiving the email isn't actually the person importing the catalogues, you can also contact our data department on this email address to get this changed. In today's session, we're going to be focusing on the setup of the catalogues rather than the catalogue importing, but Oliver's going to put the link in the chat on how to import your catalogues for those of you who are interested. So at the moment, we've got my screen set up to show you the catalogues. As you can see in the support database, there are some catalogues that don't have suppliers assigned. This is just our test database, so not all of the catalogues are in use, for example. That's why some have no update priority. So focusing on the catalogue importing, the first time that you import a catalogue, it's not going to have a supplier assigned to it. So for example, the Blake and the Trueline and Evo product files, as well as the Findel catalogue. If your catalogue is the first time it's being imported, what you need to do is you need to firstly import the data file in the way that you would, and then you need to assign a supplier and re-import the catalogue. The only catalogues that don't have suppliers assigned to them are your buying group catalogues, such as the Ofter catalogue, because you can't actually buy from Ofter. You're using this for reference for the selling prices. So for example, if I wanted to assign a supplier, I'd click into the line here and I would search in the box at the bottom. I'm not sure if we've got actually an account set up for this company. We've not got one set up at the moment. But what you would do is you'd search in here, you'd then be able to select the supplier from the list and then click the save button up here to save the supplier against that catalogue. You would then re-import the catalogue so that this supplier is assigned to the stock codes where the catalogue item is linked to the stock product record in order for you to be able to see it in the supplier tab. Once you've imported the catalogue, if, for example, like spices, the supplier is an EDI supplier, you'd need to set up your EDI login details for EDI trading. So to do this, you'd go to the company record, and you can open that by clicking the details button at the bottom of the screen here. And then you'd navigate to the supplier tab. So in the supplier tab, you've got the options for setting up the EDI login details and supplier delivery codes. So if I just navigate to the supplier tab here, what you'd do is you'd enter your spices account code in here. If you've got your supplier reference, these are the non-EDI fields. However, the EDI setup is down here. So what you do is you'd select the connection type, for example, whichever supplier that you're using. In this instance, it's spices. You'd enter your connection username and you'd also enter the password. Some suppliers request a supplier code for buyer. Often this is just the same as the connection username. These details will be obtained directly from the supplier and you'd need to have these prior to setting up the EDI login credentials for EDI ordering. In addition to the EDI setup with your login details, you also have EDI delivery codes. We have copies of these on our online help site. However, we can also suggest that you get these directly from the supplier in case they've got any updated versions, or for example if you're using a packed account, they may have slightly different delivery codes than the standard setup. To add a delivery code, you just click the add button here, and what it'll do is bring up this pop-up box. The code is what the supplier receives in the XML order file. You can give that a description and a system type, whether it be standard, pick wrap label or direct delivery. You can also assign delivery charges in here as well. Now looking at the pricing setup for the catalogues and the way that Prima calculates prices for both selling and cost prices. Preferred supplier should only be marked against one catalogue. In this instance, it's spices. Prima will look to the spices catalogue to populate the stock product record with the cost price, because spices is your preferred supplier, and by default the spices cost price will pull onto the order. If you wish to change the supplier in the order line, you can do this by double clicking into the alternative supplier in the supplier tab. However, by default, where the pricing method of the stock product is preferred supplier last price, the cost price of your preferred supplier will pull onto the order. Best price refers to the selling price. So for example, we've got the after catalogue marked as best price. This is true for all dealer group catalogues because you get the special pricing within these catalogues, and they should not be marked as the preferred because, as I've said previously, you don't have a supplier assigned to them and you can't actually purchase from the supplier. You're using it purely to get the selling prices. If best price is not marked against a catalogue and you have discount band set up against that catalogue, you won't receive the discount set against the discount bands. Therefore, you've got to ensure that best price is marked as whatever catalogues that you receive selling prices from. Similarly, we have the update priority. So the update priority is used to update the stock product records with the selling price. For example, the after catalogue again is update priority 1 because where the item exists in the after catalogue, I would also like that to be my selling price as my most preferred selling price for my customers. I've then got the VAL catalogue 2nd, Antalis 3rd, Beta 4th, UFP 5th, and then the update priority 0 means that Prima won't look to that catalogue for the selling price. This should be set against TPF product files because the selling prices in the TPF files are across the board, so the cost price and the selling price are the same upon import, and the cost prices are then updated by the EDI terms file. So these should always be marked as update priority 0 and should never be marked as best price. So when the catalogues are imported, the stock products are going to update following this priority. So after catalogue 1st, VAL 2nd, Antalis 3rd, Beta 4th, and UFP 5th. Prima will always follow this order when looking to update the selling prices. However, it will use the pricing from the best price catalogue where applicable. Once you've got your catalogues set up, this can also help when you have the it can also help when you're looking to discontinue your stock products because you can use the update priority to look to when updating your preferred supplier against items. Normally, in general circumstances, quite often the best price catalogue, if you don't have a dealer group catalogue, is also marked as the preferred, and the update priority reflects this, so it's marked as best price, preferred, and update priority 1. So that's just a brief overview of the catalogue setup. Thank you for listening, and Ollie will be around on the live chat if you've got any questions. Thank you.